All right, Hajara, we can hear you. Give us the latest where you are.
Distribution is taking place here. This is Hajara registration area. Most people have finished collecting their sensitive materials, and they will take it to the polling units right now, and voting will commence. It's actually faster compared to what we saw during the presidential election. During the presidential election, by this time, distribution was still taking place. Like, a lot of people haven't received materials yet by this time. We saw distribution taking place until 11 a.m., even noon. But by this time, there are just few people left that are yet to receive sensitive materials to be taken to the polling units. And the difference is that they actually started early this time. It started around 11:30 last night, while during the presidential election, it started around, distribution started around 4 a.m. So that's why it's actually fast. They will soon be through. And this place is also a polling unit. There are several points here. So as soon as they are done with distribution, voting will commence here at Hajara registration area. And it's also Bakaridu, also known as Bakaridu polling unit.
Well, Hajara, I'm curious. Do we have voters there, since you said that it's a polling unit as well? Do we have voters standing by or ready to vote?
Standing by. Could you come again, please?
So, since you say that that place is also a polling unit, do we have voters standing there or ready to vote?
Yeah, there are a few persons who are here. Most of the people we see here at the moment are those who are receiving sensitive materials, and then they would head to their polling units to begin the process. The voters have not yet arrived, maybe because they know that this is also a distribution center, so they wouldn't come early. So voting hasn't started here yet, but it would soon commence because the distribution is, they're almost through with distribution here.
Speak to us about security at your location right now. How fortified is that environment in terms of security?
Yeah, there are a lot of security personnel. Let me take you around this area, if you can actually see what's happening. You can see one of the security vans over there. I don't know if you can see it. And then you can see how people are collecting their voting materials, heading to the polling units. This is a lady here. She doesn't want me to show her face. She's on a bike. She's about to go to her polling units and commence voting. And then a lot of people are just eager to leave this place. Earlier, I told you about, I sent videos about one of the warehouses that we saw on my way here. We saw people receiving food items, that's voter inducement, receiving food items from a warehouse. It's actually from one of the political parties. So what we are noticing is actually a departure from the usual voter inducements we see at the polling units, where political parties or politicians would come with money and induce voters. But this time around, it comes in form of foodstuff, and they are usually done in different places away from the polling units, because we have anti-graft agencies monitoring the exercise. So it's kind of changing the form of voter inducement that we are seeing. But security in Bauchi overall, I think, is it's tight at the moment, but people are coming out. Despite the fact that there's restriction of movement, people are still coming out to get food items from the warehouse that was open since last night.
Hajara, we were talking before now about Bauchi and how 99% of persons there have collected their PVCs. Have you spoken to would-be voters and how they're excited about coming out today and what that feeling is?
Yeah, I think the excitement is more now compared to what we saw during the presidential election. We are looking at a situation whereby we would see more voter turnout this time around compared to what we saw during the presidential election. 99.9% of the voters, registered voters, have received their PVCs. That's interesting. But what we saw is that during the presidential election, not up to half of that number came out to cast their ballots. But this time around, we're hoping that people will really turn out to cast their ballots. If, let's say we're looking at like over 1 million would be an improvement, because during the presidential election, it was just 800,000 people, over 800,000 people, registered voters, who turned out for the presidential election. But this time around, the people are really excited to come out and support their favorite candidate.
That is very, very interesting.